This Solenopsis invicta fire ant queen has landed on the edge of a swamp. She may be far from her native habitat, but the fire ants are well known for their ability to adapt. Competition for food will be fierce. She will need to raise an army quickly to compete with the local predators.
The ants will fight to the death. The ants have uncovered a group of hungry checkered beetle larvae. The soft grubs may look defenseless, but they have big jaws and appetites to match. The workers have done all they can to improve these food stores. Even in small numbers, the fire ants are menacing, but in large numbers, they are virtually unstoppable. Predators are loose in the nest. The larvae must be protected. Predators are loose in the nest. The larvae must be protected. A fully developed checkered beetle, Enoclerus rosmarus, has been disturbed by the ants. It has the same ravenous appetite and slicing jaws as its juvenile counterpart, but now paired with thick armor plates, it represents a far greater danger to the colony. There are intruders in the nest. Predators are loose in the nest. The larvae must be protected. Predators are loose in the nest. The larvae must be protected.
As the sun sets, the local amphibians begin to emerge from moist crevices near the water's edge. Lone invertebrates will be picked off quickly. The ants should travel in numbers or not at all. A bombardier beetle, Brachinus alternans, is hunting for insects outside the nest. It may seem unwise for it to wander so freely amongst the large amphibians that share the swamp at night, but they would do well to leave it alone. This beetle is a master of chemical warfare. The colony lies in the shadow of a great titan to the north, an American bullfrog. This large female has found the perfect spot to feed. Sheltered by foliage and in the path of many wandering insects and smaller amphibians, she has no reason to move on. Eventually she will need to be displaced, but for now, the fire ants have more pressing business to attend to. At night, eastern narrow-mouthed toads patrol above ground looking for food. Ants make up 75% of their diet, so the small colony must stay alert. To make matters worse, they are excellent diggers. It's only a matter of time before one tunnels its way into the nest. Many of the milkweed plants growing nearby are infested with aphids. Their honeydew excretions present an ideal, energy-rich food source for the fire ants. Aphids far from the nest are vulnerable, however, and are sometimes relocated closer to home, where they can be better protected from predators and thieves. The boggy soil surrounding the nest is lacking in nitrogen and phosphorus, nutrients vital for plants to photosynthesize and grow. To survive in this environment, some have evolved to supplement their mineral diet by trapping and dissolving invertebrate prey. The ponds surrounding the nest are perfect hunting grounds for fishing spiders. They have keen eyesight and can skip across the water to quickly chase down unsuspecting prey wandering too close to the edge. The ants have clashed with a bombardier beetle. Feeling threatened, the beetle mixes a cocktail of chemicals that react together, boil, and explode from a valve at the base of its abdomen. A narrow-mouthed toad has burrowed into the nest. It may be small for a toad, but its appetite for ants is insatiable. Secretions from its skin burn any that manage to escape its projectile tongue. The workers have done all they can to improve these food stores. A small colony of Phaedulae maurici big-headed ants have established themselves on a hill to the west. Scavenging for seeds, aphids, and dead insects, they are unlikely to pose a threat to the Invicta colony if left undisturbed. The
The ants have set upon a green lynx spider, Puccetia viridans. She prefers to hunt on pitcher plants, but out in the open, she loses her advantage. Far from defenseless, however, when threatened she can spit venom up to 30 centimeters from her fangs. Dawn breaks, and the salamanders and toads retire to their damp alcoves to wait out the sun. Only the great bullfrog remains. She sits patiently on her throne, waiting for the next meal to wander by. Dolomedes triton, the six-spotted fishing spider, has been observing the fire ants. Noticing that the majority of the group are engaged in pontoon construction, she skims to the water's edge to pick off workers one by one. Bridge construction has been halted by fishing spiders. The fire ants and big-headed ants have met in their first skirmish. Sensing the new danger, the Maurici colony responds by awakening ancestral super soldier genes in selected brood, feeding them until their heads are engorged with muscle. The fire ants have encountered a tribe of Monomoria minimum black ants. These tiny little ants may seem feeble, but the Invicta colony would do well to treat them with caution. Although primarily scavengers, they are armed with powerful chemical secretions and have been known on occasion to invade fire ant nests. The ants must deal with the fishing spider before they can span this water. A magnolia green jumping spider, Lysoman viridis, has ambushed a fire ant. It prefers to hunt on foliage, where it is less likely to be spotted by predators and prey alike. Out on the ground, it's more vulnerable, but that won't stop it from snacking on lone ants far from the safety of the nest. The big-headed ants now have a super soldier caste to justify their name. At huge economic cost to the colony, these frenzied champions have been raised for one purpose: to crush the fire ants. A raiding party of big-headed ants are stealing aphids. They must be stopped. The neighboring Monomoria Minimum colony has launched an attack on the fire ant nest. A six-spotted tiger beetle, Cicindela sexcutata, is on the move near the nest. Its metallic green elytra make it unmistakable, and like its other tiger beetle cousins, long legs give it the speed to chase down small arthropods with ease. The Monomoria Minimum colony is almost defeated. The Invicta army must press their advantage. The little black ants fought to the last to defend their queen. Now the Invicta colony will enjoy the spoils of war. Defenseless larvae from the vanquished colony will be carried home and fed to the victor's own hungry brood. Big-headed super soldiers are leading a raid on the Invicta colony. Defenseless caterpillars exposed on the underside of leaves are a welcome snack for the passing fire ants. The colony should take advantage while it can. Few meals surrender so willingly.
Once again, dusk sets in over the swamp. Soon, the sandy undergrowth will be teeming with salamanders, toads, and nocturnal beetles. The Morisi colony has fallen, their champions spent, and their queen vanquished. In the end, they could not stand up to the might of the Invicta army. The Fire Ants have mounted their first attack upon the great American bullfrog Litabates scatesbianus. The brave frontline soldiers are quickly crushed and eaten. They must surround and swarm the enormous creature to stand any chance of defeating it.
There are intruders in the nest. Again and again, soldiers clamp onto the bullfrog's leathery skin and inject their Solenopsis venom, but the beast shows no signs of wavering. The fire ants must maintain their resolve. Overwhelmed with burning venom, the bullfrog finally succumbs to the might of the fire ants. Utterly spent, it collapses on the hillside, leaving the victors free to consume its body. Unbeknownst to the ants, the presence of the bullfrog was keeping many other local amphibians at bay. The power vacuum it left behind is attracting a host of salamanders and frogs eager to take its place. The ants should go to ground quickly and prepare for the imminent chaos. The ants must defend themselves. As the anarchy above ground settles and with the invaders crushed, a new order is established. This is now the domain of the fire ant.
crumbs everywhere. Who's been bringing food into the lab?
This fire ant queen has traveled for miles on her nuptial flight, finally landing atop a sandy mound deep in the swamp. The vantage point might seem like an ideal home, but it may be short-lived. This whole area is liable to flooding, and nearby rainfall is already causing the groundwater to rise. Exhausted and without her wings, the queen is unable to move on alone. But if she can amass enough daughters in time, the colony as a whole may stand a chance. Many nearby creatures have already been washed out of their homes by the rising water. A lucky few have been deposited on the shores east of the nest. As more arrive, tensions will rise. There isn't space here for everyone.
The queen is in imminent danger. False bombardier larvae are burrowing through the earth surrounding the nest. They are already large and will hold their ground against small groups of ants.
The workers have done all they can to improve these food stores. The boggy earth at the base of the mound is now saturated, and as night approaches, the water begins to creep closer. The new arrivals will rush to higher ground, heading straight for the nest. There is nowhere else to go. Food is abundant, but as the floodwater begins to rise, the ants will quickly lose access to the lower lands. The waters surrounding the nest are perfect hunting grounds for fishing spiders. They have keen eyesight and can skip across the water to quickly chase down unsuspecting prey wandering too close to the edge. A great blue skimmer, Libellula vibrans, hunts overhead. This fantastic aerial predator shouldn't cause any trouble for the ants. That is, unless it decides to land in their way. The inundation has slowed, and fewer creatures are washing up to the east. The ants have an opportunity to explore for food, but there are other dangers at night. Moist-skinned amphibians have come out to take advantage of this new water world, harvesting lost insects displaced from their burrows. The workers have done all they can to improve these food stores. The ants must fight. There are intruders in the nest. Continued rainfall is about to bring another torrent flushing through the bog, carrying with it a slew of ill-tempered arthropods. Predators are loose in the nest. The larvae must be protected. Predators are loose in the nest. The larvae must be protected. Predators are loose in the nest. The larvae must be protected. There are intruders in the nest. The battle has begun. With nowhere to drain, the floodwater creeps ever nearer to the nest. Already cramped and irritated, a panic ensues, and the refugees scramble for higher ground. By joining their bodies together to form a giant raft, the fire ants were able to ferry the queen from the mound just as the nest filled with water. Their perils are not over, but they've shown great resilience and an ability to survive in this harsh environment. Wherever they land, the creatures of the swamp will quickly come to know the might of the fire ants.
Ugh, crumbs everywhere. Who's been bringing food into the lab?
Escorted by a small entourage of loyal soldiers, this young queen has set out to establish a new colony on the edge of the savannah. These are Megaponera analis, the Matabele ants. They are large, fierce, and specialize in raiding termite nests. The Matabele may be predators, but they are very picky about their prey. The other creatures nearby are insignificant compared to the vast and replenishable bounty locked within the local termite mounds. Raids are conducted at dusk and dawn, and the night is almost over. It is time. Excavations have uncovered a common earwig, Forficula auricularia, nesting in the soil. It will protect its young vigorously. There are 3 Macrotermes bellicosus termite nests in the vicinity. The Matabele must choose a target quickly and move with purpose. In most ant colonies, injured soldiers are left to die on the battlefield, but the Matabele do not forsake their sisters so easily. Ants wounded in battle and unable to walk release pheromones calling their comrades for help. If unburdened raiders are available, the casualties are carried home and nursed back to health. As the midday sun rises overhead, the termites retreat into the cool depths of their fortified mounds. Raiding at this time would be troublesome, and there would usually be little reason for the Matabele to leave their nest. However, West African rainbow lizards, Agama africana, have come to bask in the clearing. If too many are allowed to gather, the evening raids may be disrupted. The ants must fight. A tiger beetle, Dromaeoquida elegantia, has spotted the ants. This exuberant red hunter possesses all the usual traits: keen eyesight, long, powerful legs, and efficient carving jaws. As dusk begins to set in and the dusty earth cools, the termites march out of their mounds to collect dead wood and leaves. Time for the Matabele to replenish their larders. The rainbow lizards are immense and more than capable of dealing with a few ants. The Matabele colony will need to make a significant show of force and target the lizards one at a time to stand any chance of driving them away. The termites, although much smaller than the ants, are far from easy game. They have their own soldier castes whose job is to make the raids as difficult as possible for the ants. With durable head armor and keen jaws, it is not uncommon for the defenders to maim and even kill raiding soldiers. As soon as the Matabele have enough food, they should leave without delay. The Matabele should be careful not to overpillage any one mound. If the termites are too weakened, they will not recover their numbers in time for the next raid. workers have done all they can to improve these food stores. As night draws in, nocturnal scrubland specialists emerge from their hiding places to hunt. For the colony, the benefits of facing down these beasts are far outweighed by the cost in soldier casualties. Fortunately, the nest entrance is too small for the largest and most dangerous arthropods to crawl through. The ants will be safe underground. The Matabele have crossed paths with an alligator-back scorpion, Hottentotter. Wandering out into the open tonight on the hunt for insects, this sturdy arachnid uses 2 muscle-packed pedipalps for crushing its prey. And if they don't do the job, it can strike from above, spearing victims with its tail-mounted stinger, delivering a dose of paralyzing venom. The sky brightens and the nighttime scavengers begin to dissipate, leaving space for Matabele raiding columns. The workers have done all they can to improve these food stores. The temperature outside is rising, and the termites retreat inside to escape desiccation. A giant African mantis, Sphodromantis viridis, has come upon the ants, growing up to 10 centimeters long and wielding a huge pair of savage barbed forelegs. This beast of prey is well equipped for a fight. The termites will soon venture out once again to forage. For the hungry Matabele ants, now is the time to strike.
The battle has begun.
It is quiet tonight. Usually the undergrowth would be bustling with nighttime predators, but few have surfaced. Something has them spooked. Tremors can be felt from within the nest. There's a creature on the move, and it's getting closer.
The battle has begun.
A fully grown sun spider, Zaria Kisarlinji, has found the nest. She's looking for a burrow to lay her eggs, and this is the perfect spot. Unable to fit through the entrance, she'll need to dig her way in. This could be disastrous for the colony. The sun spider has bulldozed through the nest entrance and into the tunnels. She must be stopped. It is finished. The sun spider was finally bested by the ants, but not before decimating the nest. The cavern she left in her wake is now likely to attract even larger creatures. The colony had better be prepared. With the sun spider threat eliminated, the Matabele have an opportunity to raid freely while the termites are active. They should make the most of it while they can.
The ants must defend themselves. battle has begun.
It is almost noon, and the termites go to ground. Further raids are unlikely to be fruitful. For now. The termites are ramping up their activities. The Matabele should seize this opportunity before the nocturnal predators are too numerous.
The gaping nest entrance is unlikely to go unnoticed for long. The Matabele should stand guard. There will be invaders tonight. An African giant centipede, Etmostigmus trigonopodus, approaches the nest. Searching for a good ambush spot, it wasn't expecting to find an ant colony, but now irritated and hungry, it confronts the soldiers. Despite its great size, rows of segmented armor plates allow it to remain agile, and its forward legs have been modified into fangs, with which it can puncture and inject venom into its victims. The giant centipede is dead. A lesser colony would have surely fallen to the monster. Although the Matabele Queen has survived, the undergrowth remains perilous. The ants should clear the carcass and replenish quickly. Night is over, and the raiding window opens once again.
The battle has begun.
Rainbow lizards are beginning to arrive. The Matabele would do well to keep them in check. The Matabele workers have unearthed part of an African stink ant tunnel. This one appears to be deserted, a remnant of a past colony. The sun has almost set, the sand has cooled, and the termites resume their harvest.
The ants will fight to the death.
Darkness looms, and the savanna arthropods emerge to hunt. There is but one the Matabele have yet to face, the greatest amongst their number. It comes tonight.
The battle has begun.
It is here, Pandinus Imperator, the Emperor Scorpion. Growing to 20 centimeters in length, this true titan of the undergrowth dwarfs almost anything that crosses its path. With bulging pedipalps equally effective for digging up insects and tearing them apart, this encounter could mean extinction for the colony. Even as wave after wave of soldiers were crushed, the Matabele would not relent. The fiercest raiders mounted the beast, whilst maimed defenders sliced at its joints. Finally, the Emperor Scorpion fell. Having bested the three titans, the message to the Savanna arthropods is clear. Confronting the Matabele in their home will only end one way.
Ugh, crumbs everywhere. Who's been bringing food into the lab?
This Matabele queen has located the perfect spot to found a new colony. Surrounded in all directions by termite mounds, securing a steady supply of food should be no problem. Her raiders are spoiled for choice. Unfortunately for this colony, prosperity is about to turn into peril. Not far from here, a vast army of Dorilus Nigrokin's driver ants have established a temporary outpost. Like their New World counterparts, the Essaton army ants, they are nomadic and will send out daily marauding columns in search of food. The local termite mounds will not go unnoticed for long.
The Queen is in imminent danger.
The Queen has fallen. Despite their auspicious location at the foot of 4 established termite mounds, the fledgling colony could not last. Surrendering to the scrubland critters, the Matabele relinquish their territory and the termites therein to more worthy successors.